So in the male internet celebrity image, we can see they try to reveal the social constraints. But for the female celebrities, they try to, conceal the social constraints. Well, I think in order to understand the difference between social media celebrities and the traditional entertainment stars, we need to know the definition of social media celebrities. So in my research, I define them as the high visible figures whose fame is native to social media. So I think they are not radically new because it is a way of fame. It's one type of fame, and fame always exists as a social status in our societies. 2,000 years ago, it might be about religious fame, the famous saint, and then it might be related to famous writers and authors. It is start from last century, the 20th century, we began to have commodified fame. That is the stars in the commodified market of it. And social media celebrities is another further step compared to the entertainment stars. They look ordinary. Entertainment stars looks glamorous. When they stand on the red carpet, when they have photographs, you will see they are really gorgeous looking. But social media celebrities, they talk about how I get ready in the morning, what I eat for a day. So that is the ordinariness of social media celebrity. And they also try to say, okay, I am myself. I'm not really playing any role in the life. I play the role of myself. So for social media celebrities, they brand themselves. Also, from an economic perspective, we can think about this. We only have a few really, really popular stars on mass media. But then we have a whole bunch of YouTubers or Instagrammers. So for a traditional celebrity, they function on a level of scarcity. Only a few of them. For social media celebrity, they function on the scale of abundance. And this is because the industry functions differently compared to these fields. For a celebrity agency, for instance, they might actually only sign a few of stars or potential stars, and they get a huge amount of money from only one really popular star. But for social media celebrity agencies like multi-channel networks on YouTube, they can actually sign thousands of potential stars because their service is provided on automatic based. You sign up into their websites, you will get a lot of footage, a lot of background music. So this service are automatically generated, and the company will get a small amount of revenue from the money you get from YouTube. Of course, that's a small amount of money they get, but they accumulate a lot of money from a lot of members, and that's a huge market for them. This is exactly an internet business model called a long tail model. That's how Amazon sells their books. And nowadays, social media celebrities actually also function based on that economic model. Well, I think celebrity culture is a commodified version of fame, and that is European, that is really American. This whole industry started from America, and it's then globalized into all kinds of places in our world. Celebrity is also about a cultural representation of the spirit of the time. So what type of appearance or what type of personalities are popular? And that is really a culture thing. And that is why celebrities in China looks different from here. I can give you some examples. For instance, female celebrities, girls, they look more soft and gentle. So this unconventional look like Lady Gaga might not get that much of popular in China. This is because celebrity image is really based on gendered culture, gendered roles, specifically in one society. And also boys nowadays, like male celebrities in China, they also have this, let's say, the bland image of male and female characteristics on their face. And we call that androgynous image. It means that they look more neutral in terms of gender. They're not going to be those really, that's like bodybuilder type of image. No, they look more soft and gentle. This is really a trendy aesthetic standard in China nowadays. Celebrity culture is always gendered. So the male celebrity and the female celebrity, they look different. This is something also in Western culture. So think about the film stars in 20th century, early Hollywood films. In those movies that you will always see that the male protagonist their personalities and characters are contrasted to the social cultural environments. And the famous protagonists, their image will evolve along the time. But for female celebrities, they will always have the same type of character, same type of personality. And what is changing is the fashion. The only thing that is changed in female celebrities is the change of fashion styles. That is something happens in early Hollywood films. But this situation also happens nowadays in Chinese social media celebrities. So I have explored both the male and the female social media celebrities in China, and I feel their roles are gendered. So for instance, I have explored one fashion and beauty blogger in China. So she's a girl. And of course, for most of the social media celebrities, the female ones, they are beauty and fashion bloggers. That's their job. And she really looks soft and gentle. And she tried to express two things in her identity, and that is autonomous and express myself through fashion. But if you look into this type of identity, that she only stress autonomy in fashion field. So I can choose among 50 shades of red lipsticks. That's all. She's not talking about whether she must give birth to a children in family, whether she can get what type of job in society, whether she can get equal paid in labor markets. So this is a post-feminist image in China nowadays, that we feel, okay, women are really have equal status with men. But no, their freedom and autonomy is only achieved in fashion industry, in fashion fields, or in a more general sense that female freedom in this type of discourse is female consumption discourse. So this type of image in China really conceal the social constraints that still exist in gender areas. But however, this is not something happens for the male celebrities. And I've also explored one male celebrity in China, and he has played a role as a factory boy. So the factory workers who produce mobile phones. And he has initiated this identity called 屌丝. So we call this type of image in 屌丝 in China. It means really nasty meaning. It means a piece of pubic hair. So he says that I am as nasty, as ugly, as stupid as a piece of pubic hair. But then what this image expressing is that it is not myself. I'm a loser. But that's not my fault. It's because I don't have a rich dad. I cannot compete with those second generation of official leaders or those new rich. It's because society do not give me the opportunity to do so. So in the male internet celebrity image, we can see they try to reveal the social constraints. But for the female celebrities, they try to, conceal the social constraints. So what I have in conclusion about this gendered role is that not only they look different, but also the opportunity to express this being constrained in society is also gendered. You definitely find more opportunity for boys compared to girls in the online world. In China, there is one type of social media celebrity are those political microbloggers. So they give all kinds of comments and opinions to current affairs on the internet. And not only about them, there are also journalists, intellectuals, university teachers, and also entertainment stars. They also try to give some comments on what happens every day in our society. So this is really a rise of ordinary person or people from the below point that who give opinions on politics in China. But however, it's really controversial. Sometimes they give a lot of negative comments to the government, to the mainstream ideologies in China. And of course, this type of negative comments will attract more attention for them. But then in order to understand this dynamic, we need to understand the media landscape in China. So in China, mainstream media, those television and newspapers are really normative and positive about what happens in society. And then, of course, what the critical voices will come from the internet. And with time goes along that people began to think, okay, something negative happens on the internet must be authentic and real. So this becomes a default position. And for those political microbloggers, they began to actually exaggerate things to give as negative as comments possible, and also to make fake news about scandals. And of course, at this moment, for the political microbloggers, they have sort of grasped this moral high ground. They try to convey to the public that, okay, I'm really disclose what happens in our public sphere. However, those are also fake news or misinformation. And at this moment, when we criticize them, saying that, hey, this is fake news, they will say, okay, you are interfering with my freedom of speech. So this becomes really a controversial in China, and that is why they also get more and more high visibilities and become a type of celebrities in China. In my field work, I have explored a political microblogger called 白骨论今, and he posts all kinds of comments to what happens in the news and also what happens in the history. And there was a piece of news that actually quite common in China. It talked about this the waterlog. The water will become a flood in the city and cannot go away through the underground sewage system. And this is because those systems are old or malfunction. And then he gave this explanation that in one of the city in Qingdao in China, that city never suffers from this problem. It's because that system is built by German people 100 years ago. So at that period of time, that city was a colony of Germany. So this is, of course, a brand of German-made quality. And then it becomes really, really viral. And also this type of image becomes something, let's say, anti the mainstream ideology of China that, hey, look at what happens nowadays in China. It's really crappy. So we should learn from Germany. And of course, we all believe in this, but then it turns out to be that this is really not the case. This is because that city is built on the hill. So the water will go, let's say, along to the sea at the end of the time. So it's not really because of the German-built sewage system. But however, this type of information really gives a lot of resonance among the citizens, that people believe in it and people think this is indeed a problem in it. And that is why that even though they disseminate fake news, it can give them a lot of visibility. Well, I think in terms of how we understand normal people in our society, this first thing I think I want to stress social media literacy. It means that not only you can use the technology, but also you understand the cultural atmospheres on social media platforms. This happens something between generation. So there is a intergeneration gap regarding what is normal on social media. For instance, in China, younger generation like to conduct this self-debate and self-mockery towards themselves, like I'm a piece of pubic hair. This is actually a self-mockery. But for their parents' generation, they cannot really understand it. They think, how can you say such nasty words? That's abnormal to my children. So there is a conflict between generations on the cultural atmosphere of social media. And also, we need to think of the ecology of the social media platform market. In China, of course, we don't use YouTube or Facebook, but we have our own ecology of different platforms. And some platforms penetrate into metropolitan cities. Other platforms like Kuaishou or Douyin, those platforms are new and they penetrate into smaller cities and also rural areas. And if you look into different type of social media platforms, you will see different, let's say, normal people. For instance, in Kuaishou, there was this scandal that this platform have a lot of social media celebrities who are teen moms. So they are branding about themselves that I get pregnant at 14 years old. I'm really proud of myself. For audiences from other social media platform, when they see that platform, they will say, well, how can you behave like that? I think social media platforms nowadays actually can bring different type of normative standards into our view. So it can really generate a lot of discussions among people from different areas and different groups in our society. That is actually something good about social media celebrity and social media platforms. People do not want to recognize the cultural meaningfulness of celebrity culture. We always think that, okay, celebrities are too trivial. They are people who are famous for being famous. And recently in China, there was this popular discourse that talking about we really should pay more attention to the scientists who have great achievement, who have contributed to our society, instead of those trivial celebrities. But however, those gossip and articles about celebrities still end up in the trending topic list. So people are asking, why do we care about the divorce of celebrity couples instead of the scientists? Well, I don't think because we care about celebrities. It's because we care about the divorce of celebrities. It means that celebrity culture is a culture set for ordinary people to discuss social culture normativities, for us to think about our social worth. And I think that's the culture meaningfulness of celebrity culture, and we shouldn't really ignore them. That's, I think, a huge challenge for us to accept.